I had a chat with Nemanja, the guy that I'm staying with here in Belgrade. I just checked out of his place and now I'm gonna find a hostel. Anyway, we filmed the other day playing soccer with people out in public here in Serbia. It's the first time he has filmed anything like that. For me, it's like the 200th time. And he asked me if I was nervous. And I actually said, no, I'm not nervous, of course not. And then I was thinking back, well, I am. I am a little nervous. And then I explained it like I'm slightly nervous, but since I've done it this so many times, I'm not excited about doing it as much as I was the first times I did it. This was kind of a video I just wanted to film. I like the idea and I like how it's going to look like. But I didn't have that same excitement as I had in the beginning, unfortunately, so I'm trying to figure out that part. So I'm just trying and testing new things, new ways of doing things. So this will be like a new period for my main channel to try and fail a little bit. So maybe some people will jump off. Anyway, I don't have the same excitement level as I don't have. It's just a micro excitement. Definitely not a porn star size of excitement. And my nervousness was maybe this much, so a little higher. And that's why I felt quote unquote nervous. Because I didn't have that same passion that could just run over the nervousness / anxiety. So I was a little resistant towards filming. It went fine as usual, as it always does. But I remember in the beginning when things were just exciting, I was even more nervous then, but I was also more excited. So I still did it, and I had less problems doing it probably than I have now. So that's just remember that. So when you are nervous, it doesn't mean that you're a loser, that you shouldn't be nervous, or that you have more social anxiety than others. There's also a factor involved, just plain motivation. Do you burn? Does this feel like a purpose to you? Is this something your heart wants? Just think about it. So you don't need to beat yourself up all the time for having social anxiety. It might just be that you're not excited. Okay? So if you're and this is a good example, okay? This is probably an example where this phenomenon comes up with people, okay? If you are at a party and you just feel socially anxious, it might just be that you don't care. I'll tell you a little story. I was at an event this fall, and there was a guy speaking there, a former entrepreneur. He was still an entrepreneur, but he was a very, very successful entrepreneur. And he lived a crazy lifestyle. He lived like a rock star. He mentioned how many women he had been with, because this was kind of a dating scene, kind of an entrepreneurial scene, only for guys. I think only guys were in the room. Yeah, it was called, no, I'm not going to mention, you can figure out the event anyway. I spoke at an event this fall. And one of the speakers, he was like, and you could just tell that he was a confident motherfucker. And he said, described his lifestyle, the lifestyle he used to live. It was just absolutely crazy. Parties all the time, traveling a lot. And this was a guy that had slept with like 4,000 girls or something. And the audience went like... He also said, by the way, that this did not make me happy. And this is not the way to happiness. He knew that for sure. But he also said that if you have it in your system, if it's like a screaming child within you that wants to bang, that sounded wrong, but if it's a screaming puberty boy inside of you that just wants to get the sexual energy out of the system, you should go for it. But even then, he said that he he was a socially anxious guy and also depressed. But I talked to him after the show, and he said that he was kind of he had a little social anxiety. So that's a guy who has that much charisma, that much confidence, and then he still gets socially anxious around people. And I can relate a little bit to this in some parties and some scenes. I get awkward. I get socially awkward sometimes. Still, even though I have killed the social anxiety monster, I still have to care. I have to be excited and have a sense of purpose and be on that wave. That's something I really try to do. So whenever I'm in an environment where this is not me, this is not where I belong right now, I try to get on a track where that slides a little faster, that is more my kind of terrain. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that if you're nervous, if you're socially anxious, it might also be because you're not really excited, you're not really passionate about the thing you're doing or where you are at, and maybe you don't see a meaning with or purpose with that party that you're at. Why am I here? These people just care about cars, and then you don't care about cars. You just care about video games and Pokemon. So I'm joking here, okay? You can also learn to be excited about the party if you're focusing on it. If you just feel like, I'm here, I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks with these people, I better care about them if I'm gonna have a good time. So even after you kill the social anxiety monster, you can still be socially awkward if you don't feel like you are on the wave of purpose. If you're not completely congruent, if something feels off. The people you're around with that don't care about the things you care about. You might care about something deeper, more meaningful to you. I stress this a lot in the program, following your passion and how that can... It's a huge difference having social anxiety with a passion and having social anxiety without a passion. The difference can be enormous, and sometimes the social anxiety, the factors that makes up the social anxiety might stay there in your DNA. They can get out, for sure, but it might be a long way. And the factors that make you social anxiety also makes you a genius in other ways. And that's a video for another time. That's the video I have for you today. It might be an excitement issue. Don't use it as an excuse to not meet people, because if you meet people, you can face yourself. One of the best ways to face yourself is to actually be around with people. But follow your own gut. How much do you want to hang out with people? What people do you want to hang out with? You're making all these decisions yourself. Just know that social anxiety you don't have to beat yourself up for why am I nervous again? Why does it keep coming back? And I'm making this video because I have this. I have these thoughts. I had a few moments with thinking like this. Why am I less excited about making the videos I'm making right now? Or why do I feel more nervous doing the things in public that I used to feel very excited, well, less nervous for back in the days? But then I went back and I was thinking, no, I'm actually less nervous about this now, but I'm also less excited. So it feels there's still a resistance. Like you need more reasons. There's actually a dog barking underneath me right now. Hey there, how's it going? Do you like my social anxiety lessons? That's the video I had for today. If you have any more questions about social anxiety or confidence, then just ask me that in the comments and I'll answer it. Cheers from some park in Belgrade, behind a church. Praise the Lord.